Jonathan Fagan.
Hi, Coach. Were you guys able to reach, you coaches, players, staff, able to reach family back here and find out what everybody's dealing with, see if everybody's okay and so on?
Yeah, I spoke to my wife earlier today, whose phone was dying and she has no electricity. So yeah, we're monitoring it closely and kind of just trying to figure it out. They're at the house with no electricity, no heat, no nothing. So that's what everybody in Houston is going through, and we feel for them. And they just gotta get through these next couple days and do whatever it takes to stay warm and stay at home.
Is that I mean, what is that like during the course of a day? You guys are trying to get ready for a game, but I'm sure everybody's calling here and struggling to get through. What has this day been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's been a little hectic for sure. You know, just trying to check in and make sure that everybody's okay, check with the other people on the staff, make sure their families are doing okay. And you know, it's just one of those things that you another thing that we have to deal with. But like I said, first and foremost is the safety of everybody in Houston, and making sure that everybody stays home and stays warm and gets fed.
Thank you.
Yep.
Ben from the Associated Press, go ahead, please.
Do you talk to John Wall at all about the emotion of returning to DC? How do you expect him to handle that? Or if he says that's not an issue, do you believe him?
I haven't spoken to him about it. We've been really concentrating on the game plan more than anything else. And I'm sure there's some level of, you know, excitement or whatever when it comes to coming back to Washington, but I'm sure it's a lot different without fans in the stands. You don't have the same feeling when you're in the building. So I'm sure it'll be at some level emotional for him, but not as emotional as it would be if there were fans in the stands.
Brian Bearfield, go ahead.
Coach, I know that the Wizards record don't reflect who they are. They have beat some really good teams out of the 7 wins that they have. How do you all come in with the mindset of not underestimating this team?
We've lost 5 in a row, so we can't underestimate anybody. And then tonight we don't have Eric Gordon is out with the sore groin. PJ Tucker is not playing with a thigh contusion that he played through last game. So we're down those 2 guys along with Victor Oladipo and Christian Wood. So that wouldn't put us in the position to underestimate anybody. We got to go with the guys that we have on the floor and play as hard as we possibly can, doing the things that we do on the defensive end and try to create some offense with our defense.
Haley Griffin, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Sean. Coach, going off of those injuries, you know who will be in your starting lineup tonight?
John Wall will start with David Nwaba. House is going to start at the 3. Tate will start at the 4, and Cuz will start at the 5.
Matthew from the Washington Times, you're on.
Hi, Coach. Just kind of curious. The Pistons today said that they would sit Blake Griffin until they worked out a trade, and Cleveland is doing the same with Andre Drummond. You guys kind of went just through this with James. I guess just from a coach's perspective, like, why is it beneficial to, when a guy is dealing with trade requests, to kind of have him be separated from the team? And just can you kind of walk me through that?
Yeah, well, we didn't really do that. You know,
right.
when James was here, he played. So their situations are a little bit different than ours. But, you know, at some level, I assume that you just want to move forward. And it's not fair for the guy that is kind of in the trade talks to either just sit there and expect to be playing or not play in the role that they want to play in or the team expects. There's just kind of so much to it. If you kind of separate it and say, this is what we're going to do, I think it helps everybody kind of move forward. It helps the player. It eliminates some of the frustration that the player would have. And then it allows the team to move forward as far as what they're going to do for the future and play guys without really thinking about the I wouldn't say the feelings, but just kind of having to carve out a role for a guy who isn't in your future.
Brianna Holmes, go ahead, please.
Hello, Coach. I know you guys recently have brought up a player from the GLeague. Now with the increasing list of players that are going to be out, do you guys have a plan to continue to do that?
Not right now. Hopefully these are just day-to-day injuries, but we always have that in our back pocket with the GLeague playing right now. It's good for those guys to get some game time, extra minutes, some time to improve. But yeah, if these injuries kind of linger on, that would be something that we would consider. I'd have to talk to Rafael about that, and that'd probably be a better conversation or question for him. But as of right now, these are pretty much just day-to-day injuries, and we're gonna stick with who we have.
Ryan Bearfield, back for more.
Hey, Coach. With the Gordon and Oladipo out tonight, how can you prevent the stagnation in the offense? That leads to the low-scoring quarter sometimes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to create some offense from our defense. We're gonna have to get in the passing lanes. Hopefully, get some pace created by rebounds, steals, deflections, blocks, that sort of thing, so we can run and get some easy baskets. The easy baskets are going to be important for us tonight to either get fast break points or early points in the paint or drive and kick threes or get to the free throw line, stuff like that. So making sure that we keep the pace in the game really makes it a little bit easier when you don't have the ball handlers on the floor that we usually do.
Mark Berman, I was beginning to worry about you. Go ahead.
Stephen, was it tough to keep PJ off the floor?
Absolutely. It was tough. It was he is he's obviously played a bunch of games in a row and has played, I believe, the most games of any player since I don't even know when, over the last 5 years or something crazy like that. So for him not to play, he's pretty banged up. So it was a tough conversation to have, but he was the one who was like, yeah, I just can't do it. I can't move on the floor. And that's admirable because he could have just fought through and maybe to the detriment of the team, but he was thinking about his long-term prognosis as well as what's best for the group. And that's PJ.
Matthew from the Washington Times.
Hey, Coach, just go follow up for what I had before. Does it feel like this is happening more often at all, of teams just sitting guys early? It is a month until the trade deadline about. Does it feel like it's happening more, or is this kind of a thing that's been around for a long time?
I don't really know the answer to that question. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Sorry. I wish I had an answer for you, but I'm not sure.
No, it's appreciated. I also just had a quick one about John Wall. There was a lot of questions here about whether he would return to form and whether he would gain that speed back. I guess, was it in the first couple of days when you saw that? When did you first start to notice that, man, this guy can still really play? Or how did you kind of come to that decision?
Yeah, it was within the first few days of training camp where you could see the speed and you could see his ability to get into paint and his ability to make plays for others. He was still rusty at that point and, making mistakes that he would be frustrated with. And we had conversations about just making sure that he understood that this is a process and understood where he was at coming back from major injuries. So yeah, it was early that we saw that he had something, but I think it's game by game and situation by situation that we see that he is really a good basketball player and has really helped us a lot.
All righty, that appears to be all of our questions for today. Thank you very much, Coach.
No problem, Sean.